Early voting continues for the November 18th Senate District 35 special election. The seat is vacant after former state senator Jason Estevez resigned to run for governor of Georgia. Estevez is a Democrat. He represented District 35. That includes parts of Fulton and Douglas counties. Early voting runs through November 14th. Election day is November 18th.